Hi guys, it's Miss Hayes. Today's Monday, 3:30, and today in classroom we have a few things. So we have the modeling tool. This is actually what you're going to turn in today. Our slides with our directions and our videos, and since it's Monday, our agenda for the week. So I'm going to start with the agenda, which I already have open over here. I'm going to first start with what we ended up doing last week. So last week we had we did 1.2 and 1.3 in Amplify, and then I kind of modified a little bit 1.4. So on Monday last week, I had a video where I showed you what happened to stuff on like my kitchen table, and it was more of the hands-on stuff. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, you guys were getting into the sim. I want to explain my grading. So Monday and Tuesday, I was not grading for correctness. I just wanted to see what you thought. You hadn't seen this stuff before. So if you did it, you got full credit. But by Wednesday, I was looking for correct statements. We had enough. I'd given you the note, like the slides with the key concepts and stuff. We should have been able to have correct answers. And so that's where some people got those ones wrong. Same with actually this part 2 as well. So if you got stuff wrong and you want to redo it, feel free. Just email me once you've resubmitted. Remember, you should be looking at the slides, watching these videos. That helps you get and make sure you're on the right track. Okay. So this week now, we are actually going to extend 1.4. I realized after grading, we needed a little bit more time in practice. So we're going to extend 1.4, and then we'll start chapter 2 by the end of the week is the plan. Okay. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to go back here. So I'm going to open real quick right now what we need to get done, and this is what you'll turn in, and then I'll open the directions. So we have this modeling tool. So the first slide, you're not going to do anything. This is where I'm going to write your grade in. So today's tool is 15 points. We have slides 2 through 4 that we need to modify. So slide 2, we are going in lesson 1.2. You observed that the solar-powered toy moved when you shined the flashlight on it. There are 4 statements below. Drag all of the statements to the correct category. So these boxes, you move to whichever side. And that's all you have to do there. Okay. Then slide 3, we have some stuff over here. We have to drag them to where they go, and then we have a question to answer. And then slide 4, you need to answer this question. Okay, give some more information as we go through this. So let's go to our slides for today with our directions. Okay, so first, to help us with that, that first slide that we need to do on our modeling tool, we're going to go back to this video that I had posted on Monday. Here's another YouTube video to go along with it. So I'm going to actually just open this up right now. Okay, and I'm purposely going to go back a little bit farther. I'm going to pause it right here. So remember, this was my crystal sheet. And when I started, it was black. And then when I had just shined this light bulb on it, notice it changed color. So by now you should have figured out that in order for a material to change, what has to happen is the light has to be absorbed into the new material. If the light does not get absorbed, the material does not change. But if the light is absorbed, the material changes. So we had a change, the light got absorbed. Okay, now let's keep watching because we need to look at this toy right here. And the color is already starting to fade, but it's definitely still there. So do you think that means that there's been energy in light? And then you're going to explain your answer on that page 2. Then also on this page 2, I have one of these. You might have seen them before. They're the little solar powered toys. So there's a little solar panel right here. Notice right now there's really no light in here. Nothing's moving. I'm going to shine the flashlight right on that solar panel. And I'm already seeing lots of movement. Those little leaves are moving. The flower's moving. So again, so we just watched that video again. So then the modeling tool, remember that's for slide number 2. You have four things. There was energy in the toy that was activated the light. Energy from the flashlight was absorbed by the toy. The flashlight absorbed energy from the toy, and the light from the flashlight carried energy. Again, if I had looked at the rubric, there's going to be two that are true and two that are false. So put the right ones in the right column, and that's what you do for that slide. All right, next, we need to review, and I did, since it's here, I did on the next slide kind of give you again all the vocab and the key concepts that might help you while you're doing your work today. So the next one is we need to go back into the sim and review a little bit here about what happened to the genetic material with the different lights. So if I go back to my modeling tool, this is for slide 3. So we have the genetic material, which is our DNA. We need to pick a light source. It says to drag the correct light source that caused the change in the genetic information. So here's our light sources. So pick the light source that made a change. And then the change that we need to drag. So these are all boxes that you can move. And then if you need to move them back because you think you got it wrong, you just put it back. So you can move all these boxes, and that's what you need to do. So you drag whatever you think to wherever it goes. So what was the light source? What was the change? And then what happened to the energy of the light? Oh, and we need to drag the arrow. So this is our energy. All right, so let's go to Amplify. And I want to show you real quick, we don't need to go to any lesson today, but in case we wanted to open the sim and see it again, if you go to these 3 little lines, and up at the top, like this is where you go to look for your graded work and stuff. If you scroll down, it has all of it calls them our apps, and Lightwave Sim. All right, so once again, I'm going to drag the genetic material. So genetic material means the same thing as DNA. I'm going to put the energy on. I'm going to put the light on. Right now I have it on sun, right? I pressed inspect, and notice we did this last week, right? So when we had the sun, we had 2 effects. So we had 2 changes. The first change was damage. The second change was increased kinetic energy. When we had it on the light bulb, and we did inspect, the only change we saw was an increase in kinetic energy. So the only one that caused damage to our DNA, or genetic material, right, was the sun. And I kind of had you start to think about this last week when I showed you that video about cancer on Vsauce. So it was right here, this video, right? So you kind of saw some of this stuff. So remember, we're connecting cancer to sunlight. All right. So, and I'm going to point out again, we can track this energy by looking for changes. We know that if the material changes, it's because the light was absorbed. Those were the things that we needed to understand and learn last week. So on my modeling tool, when I explain what happens to that energy, you should be explaining, does it get reflected? Does it get absorbed? Does it get transmitted? What's happening to that? And then we have slide 4 here. How can light from the sun cause skin cancer? And I went ahead and gave you a frame if it helps, but we need to have thought out, complete sentences with proper grammar and punctuation explaining how this is all related, okay? So we have the vocabulary and all that here. We have our directions here. We can look at our sim. And then we are making sure that we have our rubric here. You're following this, and you are manipulating slides 2, 3, and 4, and you are turning this in on Classroom. So when you're in Classroom, somewhere up here, you should have a blue button to press Turn In. All right. Hope you guys have a good day.